This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first two guests are both from Mid-Michigan Medical Center. I have Kristen Frost and Bonnie Goff. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Now I'm going to read your title so I do it right. And Kristen, you are the Imaging Manager for the Breast Health Program in Midland for Mid-Michigan Medical Center.
Correct. Yep, I oversee the breast health programs, but I also have oversight with the GRASHIT program and the Alpena program.
All right, so tell me about the program.
Sure. So it is a comprehensive breast health program, and what it really is wanting to streamline patient care, expedite patient care. We know a lot of times we come in for imaging, and it's then, right, there's callbacks, or there's follow-ups that are needed. Let's say there was a finding. And so it really is having somebody, we have a coordinator who's dedicated to that, and they're able to get patients in immediately, get you back in for your callbacks if needed, and make sure there's no delays in that care. After that, if there are procedures that are recommended, that coordinator is dedicated to making sure you get that appointment in a timely fashion. After that, let's say you have that procedure and you need more assistance. We have Bonnie, who is our navigator, and I'll let her explain kind of what her role is, but it really is making sure the comprehensive program is really focused on patient care and making sure patients are educated, have a contact person, and just making sure that there are no delays in treatment, because we know getting a breast cancer diagnosis is extremely terrifying, and there are so many things involved with it, and we really want to help patients so they don't have that fear or feeling of being lost, and that's what we're here for.
Okay, so Bonnie, explain your role as a breast health navigator.
Sure, so as Kristen said, once a biopsy is indicated for a patient, I'll then phone that patient, go over that exact procedure that patient's gonna have, make sure everything is in place that day, so when that patient arrives for that procedure, everything's ready to go. I'll then do a 24-hour follow-up phone call with that patient after the procedure, just to make sure they're doing well, if they have any questions or concerns. And then once that pathology report comes back, with provider permission, I'll then call that patient and review that pathology report. If it's a negative finding, I'll review with the patient what the radiologist's recommendations are for follow-up, if they need any, like an ultrasound in 6 months, or if they can just return to their normal yearly screenings. If it's a positive finding, that's when I really partner with that patient. I'll assist in scheduling appointments for that patient, and I'll actually attend those very critical first appointments with patients, with them, to their surgical appointment, to their radiation, and to their oncology appointment with them. And of course, providing a lot of educational material, making sure they have, that they're aware of the community resources that we have available for patients in this area.
And you know, that's so important, because when you have two people in the room and the doctor tells you something, each person heard it differently.
Yep, they do.
Right.
So it's wonderful that you join with the family and you're in the room and you have the education and you know the terms and the terminology. Sometimes they spit out all these words and it's like, what did he just say? So it's wonderful that you're there and that you're able to follow up with them, because that takes, you know, the fear out of it and say, okay, we're going to get over the fear and we're going to get on and get forward with it. And a lot of times, you know, it's especially an elderly person, they don't hear correctly, or they don't understand. It's so wonderful to have someone navigate any kind of a diagnosis with you.
Yeah, and then at the end of that, kind of after, you know, through treatment and into survivorship, I'll sit down with the patient and kind of develop what we call a survivorship care plan with them. And it kind of starts at the very beginning when that initial imaging was done, and it goes through everything that they had done throughout their course of treatment, whether they had testing or medications, anything that was done to them. And they'll sit and review that with that patient, and then their provider also gets a copy of that survivorship care plan.
Wow.
Yeah, it really is a collaboration with the providers in the area to make sure, right, we're not taking over any kind of care, but we're really helping, and then we work with those providers and help keep them educated too, because they see so many patients, and so we're just really trying to help, and they can always use us as a reference also.
And you know, I'm very proud to have a hospital of the caliber of Mid-Michigan in our community, because I know how important it is. If you have to travel out of town for care and treatment, it just adds another element, financially, mentally, emotionally, and physically draining and exhausting. So now what hospitals do you cover with? Are all of your hospitals under this comprehensive plan?
They are currently, yeah. We do have, because we have, and it's great too, because we have 3 navigators within our system. And so, like, even if Bonnie was off like say, right? Because we give her vacation too, right?
Okay.
But then the other navigators also cover. They all cover each other, and that's what's so great about the Comprehensive Breast Health Program, is that there is no delays or drops even if somebody's gone, because we make sure that all patients are taken care of. So, you know, and that's just one of the great benefits. But currently, right now, we do oversight at each of our affiliates.
So now if someone has breast cancer and has had it for a while, are they still eligible to receive all of your wonderful help and care?
Absolutely. Yes, definitely reach out, no problem.
Right.
We will.
Right.
We are here to help and provide. So absolutely.
And so how do you get your referrals, or how do people know about you, both of you?
So, I mean, one of the main things is that you come in for your mammogram, and like I said, it really starts off with that coordinator, and if you have any kind of follow-ups that are needed, because Bonnie will step in immediately if there's any kind of, like I said, procedure or anything that's required. But if any time, providers can definitely reach out. We've put flyers out. They can call, request any kind of assistance. So.
Okay. And I know we have about 2 minutes left, so I know that early detection is a key. So what do you do to get those folks in there for early detection?
Absolutely. So we do recommend patients, we do recommend women, you know, get yearly mammograms done. You get yearly mammograms, we recommend starting at age 40, and that's when you would start getting them done every year. We also now provide an Alpina 3D mammography.
Yes.
So 3D is a great detection tool, better quality. It actually scans through the breast in like different slices, so radiologists are able to see much more defined imaging. So that is something that's new and upcoming in Alpina. We're very excited to offer 3D imaging. So you can have that with your screening when you come in. Yeah, I think just overall there's so many great developments here. We're very excited to be a part of it.
Yes. And Bonnie, how do people reach you at the hospital?
Yeah, so I have a direct extension.
Okay.
On my phone number, it's area code 989-356-7530. I can also be reached by email, bonnie.goff@midmichigan.org.
Or they can just ask for the breast navigator.
Sure can.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, we're just about out of time. I want to thank both of you very much for being here, and thank you so much for all that you do, because I know the journey is so much better when you're not doing it alone.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll be right back with information from Huron Humane Society following these messages. Hi, welcome back. My last guest today is Don Holman, who is the manager of Huron Humane Society. Hi, Don, and welcome.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Thanks for being here, and I understand you have lots of wonderful events coming up in October, so why don't we start with those?
Okay, starting on October 12th, the Bissell Company is hosting an Empty the Shelter Day.
Yay.
We ask that customers, clients come in and fill out adoption papers or the applications early. It'll help them get a jump start on things.
Okay.
The adoption fees on that day will be $25 for animals that are fixed. We request a $50 deposit on animals that are not, and then it's refundable once they are.
Okay.
And
the date of that event?
It's October 12th. That'll be a Saturday.
October 12th on a Saturday, so come early and get some applications filled out so that you can go home with your pet that day.
Yes.
Okay, next.
On October 19th, we have actually 3 events. The first will be held at the dog park.
Okay.
It's Paws in the Park. That is held, partnered with Hope Showers Alliance. That's from 11 to 2.
Okay.
And Chelsea from Tularoo Photography will be doing professional photography with your animal in exchange for donations on that day. The event is held showing the correlation between domestic violence and animal abuse. So we'll have speakers, there'll be information given.
Perfect.
And it'll just be a nice time for everyone to bring their animal with them and
Yes, it will be.
get some pictures, nice pictures taken, and we are accepting cans and bottles.
Oh, okay.
The second event we have is at the Fletcher Street Depot. That is hosted by That One Place company.
Okay.
That'll be a painting party. You'll each get a sign. The materials and instructions will be provided. It'll be a 4-foot, 8-inch sign.
Wow.
And you don't necessarily have to paint your animal. You can paint whatever you'd like.
Okay.
We ask that you make a reservation in advance, and that can be made by calling or texting 817-808-5973.
Okay.
Participants can bring in their own non-alcoholic beverages or snacks.
Okay.
And if you bring in pet food, toys, or cleaning supplies, you'll be entered into a drawing. So there will be a prize.
Okay, very good. We like prizes.
The third event that we have on October 19th is the WATZ Listener Appreciation Night, and that will be at the Aplex. The doors open at 5:30 and the music starts at 8. There will be a raffle and there will be 2 prizes. The first prize is a tour of the Anschutz White Whale Way.
Oh, okay.
Which is a deer ranch. The prize is a $1,000 value, and that's a tour for up to 10 people.
Ooh.
And I believe I'm not absolutely sure, but I believe the tour will be hosted next year. That's to be announced.
Okay.
The second prize that will be raffled is a custom cornhole set that'll be done by Corey Code at Harborside Tint.
Okay.
The tickets will be $5 each, or 5 for $20, and tickets will be available at the Huron Humane Society, WATZ, or at the door.
Do you know what the cost is to get into the event itself? That's the $5, or?
I'm not sure that there is an entrance fee.
Okay, well, we can check that out. It's probably on your Facebook page,
But if there's
right?
any questions, you can always contact myself or Cindy Johnson at the Huron Humane Society.
Okay, we have enough time to talk about some animals. I know you have lots of cats.
Well, that we do. We have not as many adult cats. We do have quite a few kittens.
Okay.
We've had a lot of applicants in lately for the kittens.
Good.
I know if you look at our website or on our Facebook page, you can always look at the animals. We take in applications. If we have more than one application for an animal, the staff goes through the applicants and we pick the applicant depending on best fit for that animal.
Okay. And what about dogs? Do you have any dogs right now?
We currently do not have any dogs except for just staying with us currently, foster Mr. Pickles.
Mr. Pickles, okay.
He's
All right. Probably
our favorite.
Mr. Pickles, I bet. And always have a need for volunteers at the Humane Society?
Absolutely. You can come in and fill out paperwork to volunteer at the Humane Society, or you can call and speak with one of the managers. We're always willing to take in anybody we can, anyone that would like to help. If you'd just like to come and spend some time with the animals or help clean, help feed, the animals always appreciate the company.
Oh, yes, they do. And you had mentioned earlier cleaning supplies, something that's very important. Anything you use at home to clean here on Humane Society can use.
Absolutely. There's never a surplus.
And kitty litter and wet cat food and dog food and all kinds of things, because I know a lot of times if somebody fosters an animal, you'll send dog food home with them and everything too. So.
Absolutely. The Humane Society is actually run on donations. So we appreciate any sort of donation, no matter how big or small it may be.
And what are your hours currently?
Our hours currently are Monday through Saturday, 11 to 5:30 p.m.
Okay, so anytime during that time you can stop in, fill out an application for the Bissell event, get it done ahead of time, and look around the shelter. I always say it's the cleanest place in town. It's so clean and neat and tidy there, and it just smells good when you walk in the door.
Well, thank you.
You're certainly welcome. And volunteers, same thing. They can they can just stop in and pick up an application to volunteer?
That is correct. I believe we also have applications for volunteers on our website.
Okay, so check out the website, which is?
I believe it's
Huron Humane Society.
HuronHumaneSociety.org.
Yep. I believe that's what it is. And your Facebook page, check that out too and find out about all these events that we spoke about.
Yep, they should be listed under the events.
And real important that the community knows that we need everybody to attend these fundraisers and help us out, because this is what keeps the shelter open, and it's a no-kill shelter, and it gets these animals adopted into the forever homes.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here, and welcome to the Huron Humane Society.
Thank you.
Please stay tuned for Dr. Don McMaster following these messages.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster. I'm president of Alpena Community College. Pleased to have as our guests this morning Nick McDonald and Sydney Mishu, ACC students involved in a really neat activity called eSports, which is related to gaming. Nick, could you tell the viewers a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. It is a competitive video game sport, and so it stands for electronic sports. So what we do as a team is actually play a team-based game and try to objectively defeat our opponents. In this particular case, it is a collegiate league, and we play against other colleges around Michigan, and just try to represent our school and our team the best way we can. So.
And you recently had a match, and you did well, I hear. Sydney, tell us a little bit about that and what your experience was.
So on Tuesday, we went against a team from Lawrence Technical University in Southfield, and it was a very definitive win, I would say.
Definitive, good word.
It was very one-sided. Yeah.
Very one-sided, and we hope that it has a bit of intimidation because it was streamed by the organization, so. Yeah. It's very fun.
Well, describe the game for people who are non-gamers like myself, who are of a certain vintage.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a 5v5 team-based game. Everyone's role is extremely important. So essentially how it's broken down is there are two what we call nexuses, which are opposing bases in the opposing corners. There are 3 lanes to the game that AI-controlled bots go down, and essentially you're trying to push your control to the enemy to destroy their base, and vice versa. The game itself isn't blood and gore. It's very kind of cartoon-style animation in a way, but it's all about the team tactics. This is extremely important to get everyone on board, communicate. It is a very active team thing that you have to develop those skills together.
So team play is really important.
Oh yeah,
it's
team
number
play
one.
is the most important thing in the game.
Yeah.
And I think most people kind of perceive electronic games to be very loner-based and kind of focused and non-team oriented. This is not the case.
Yeah.
It's one thing that we're trying to kind of outline as a team for the college itself. We meet weekly in person to go over kind of the big picture scenario and to help some of the players that are not on the varsity team but still in the actual team environment. And above, we want to let everyone else know that this is extremely tactical. We practice multiple times a week just like any other sport. And if we fail as leadership for the team, then overall we're not going to perform well. So it's like any other sport.
And Sydney, your role on a team is?
My role is support. My role is to keep everybody else on my team alive, but especially this one, and he makes it very purposely difficult for me. But he pumps out all the damage, and I shield him, I heal him, I eat crowd control, which are immobilizing abilities for him, or rescue him from those immobilizing abilities.
She also acts as our team captain too, to keep a lot of the organization, a lot of the big picture stuff moving forward, which is extremely important because it helps me out a lot in the team.
Yeah, and while we're playing the game, I function a lot as a shot caller due to the nature of my role. So I'm calling a lot of objectives, what we need to do next and how we need to set it up, that kind of thing. But overall, just as a captain, it's just making sure everybody's working well together, making sure, that team play is going smoothly, that there's not a lot of tension between anybody, which there isn't. I think we're doing really well.
So you're like the point guard of this team.
Yeah,
you're kind of the orchestrator, making sure that all the pieces fit together. Very important role, by the way. And you're not, Nick, you're an IT student?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But Sydney, you're not.
I'm a psychology student.
Ah.
Yeah.
And do you find that psychology and what you're doing with this group has a interrelation?
Yeah, I would say a bit. Just making sure, because the nature of it is that people who like each other will work well together, or try especially hard to work well together. So just kind of facilitating those relationships, and I think that does have a lot to do with psychology.
Absolutely. Very good. And well, in the IT world, I mean, almost every company of every size, including ACC, has a necessity of having an IT team to keep track of all the electronic stuff that supports their business. and it is a very team-oriented occupation, and sometimes the team orientation is less apparent than the technical expertise that's required in that. So if you have both, that's a really, really strong package.
Absolutely. I know Sydney and myself both are actually incorporating the team and working on the team into different projects for some of our courses. We did that voluntarily as a really good opportunity to try to incorporate the education side of it as well. And some of our other teammates are getting that valued experience of, you know, just working in a team environment with other students. And we're trying to structure it so it is not just, hey, we're playing video games. It's, hey, we're on time for meetings. We're presenting ourselves appropriately. We are, you know, trying to do the best we can. And hopefully by the end of this league, we're invited to the finals, and we actually travel downstate to play and represent the college for a trophy. So.
You were telling me that at the international level, as many people tune into this competition as watch the Super Bowl or
yes.
the World Series.
Both. It overtook the World Series by quite a bit and tied the Super Bowl. It's unprecedented. I mean, ESPN now is dedicating whole parts of their website and their coverage to esports. And I personally guarantee probably within the next 5 to 10 years at the latest, you'll have a whole channel that'll be ESPN-E or something
wow.
that'll be dedicated to esports. It is that large.
Interesting. And we have about 45 seconds left.
Yeah.
Could you touch on Mr. Galarno's role in this?
So he acts as our advisor, and he was really the groundbreaker for this whole thing. He was contacted by the league and approached us and has given us every resource and every kind of push that we needed in the right direction to get this thing moving. And he continues to just support us with pizza and everything else. So we are extremely happy to have him in all capacities.
Well, thank you both. What an interesting thing you're doing, and it reflects so well on your interest and your motivation at ACC and the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you folks for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your host, Nancy Smitham and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.